everyone, welcome. Today I've got a really fun little book, and then I've got some watercolor workbooks that come with paints. So I'm going to start with the fun little book. So let's just pop those over to the side. So I got this one from Amazon, Hiramaki. Hiramaki, I think that's how you say it. Draw what you see. So this little book is all about pleasure from the smallest things. And you've got these blots, basically. In the beginning was the blot. And we've got 7 steps: minimalism, collections, variations, additions, combinations, interactions, and freestyle. So happiness equals a blot plus a stroke of genius. And it talks about, using a sort of a black fine liner or something like that to work in this book. So you really only need a pen, basically. And this is the first page, and you can, I've done a little dinosaur there. I've done a funny little chappy with his yellow hat there. I've done a little butterfly there. You can see, various, oh, here we go. I'm not sure what kind of animal that is. Some of these were already done to get you started, but you've got all these little blots where you just add some little lines, and this is bugs fly and beetles crawl, so make these blots into all sorts of bugs and beetles, basically. Fuzzy head or facial hair, so you can see you get some that are already filled in. And then we've got faces, and then this one is, have I missed a page? Yeah, no. So you can see that one's been made into a dog. In fact, most of them you could probably make into, that looks like the Grinch, doesn't it? But you've got these blots that you can make into whatever you like, and it does give you some inspiration by having some that have already been done for you. So, are these birds or bees, bears or trees? Gaze upon each yellow blot and turn it into something. What? Step 2 is collections. Lots of blots, one subject at a time. So, whiskers can turn a blot to a cat, but a cat to a tiger. What does that? Fuzzier blots make fluffier cats. I think you're getting the idea anyway. These are basically blots, and the whole book is filled with them for you to then just doodle, basically. But I think it's also a brilliant idea. You could do this for yourself. You don't have to buy the book, I guess. You could just do some blots on a page, and then do some doodling on them, and just see what happens. I mean, this is just blots, and then we've got this lovely little girl with her gorgeous dress. So I just thought this was a bit of fun and something that I could do really quickly. It's something you could take out with you, do on the bus. All you need is a pen and this book, basically. So lots of fun. This was £9.19, I think, on Amazon UK, but I will put a link below. So that's that one. And then we have these. Now, I confess that I saw this somewhere on Instagram, and I've completely forgotten where I saw it on Instagram. So apologies to whoever originally showed these, but these are little watercolour books. We've got one on birds and one called bouquets. Learn to paint with watercolour. We've got 12 backyard birds with sketches and painting instructions for you to follow along on that one. And then the bouquets, 12 lovely bouquets with sketches and painting instructions for you to follow along. So yeah, again, for the days when you just don't know what to do or where to start, and you just want to get your paints out, I think these might be really helpful. I don't know, I haven't opened them yet. Each of them came with a set of paints like this and a very small paintbrush that's, yeah, some of the hairs are sticking out. I mean, I wouldn't rate the paintbrush, to be honest. I'm going to swatch these paints out in a minute, so that we can have a look. But let's see what the actual book itself is like for each one. So this is our birds one. Tells you what you're going to need. Basic colours plus black and brown, which are obviously in here. Round size 2 and 6 paintbrush, jar of water, paper towel, and a plate to do some mixing in. Oh, it even gives you some mixing information, which is rather nice, I think. Oh, hold on. We've got a bit of a shine, haven't we? That's better. Right. Do I need to go back to that page? I don't think I do, but there we go. So here we can see we've got some, you know, basic colour mixing. We've got the primaries, making secondary colours and tertiary colours. Add brown to any colour to tone it down. To make pastel or very light colours, either add water to dilute the paint, or you can add white. To deepen the colours, it says to use a tiny bit of black, or you could just use them more concentrated. If you'd like to add shadows, mix up a warm grey using black, brown and lots of water. Yeah, most of us don't really use black, but for the purposes of this, I think it's probably fine. Oh, look at that. You've got a wonderful outline there of a bluebird. It tells you what colours you're going to need, and then it gives you the instructions, starting with the belly and so forth. So that's our bluebird. We've got a goldfinch, a wood thrush, a quail, a hummingbird, a cardinal, a blue jay, a chickadee, a tufted titmouse. We've got a wren, a robin, and a pigeon. And I think that that's rather lovely. This doesn't really feel like watercolour paper. So I'm guessing you would need to use some trace down and put your paper underneath and then paint. But really lovely for if you love birds, you're not good at drawing birds, you could just use those sketches, or you could start to practice drawing them for yourself. So there's our birdie one. Let's have a look at our bouquet one. How do we get into this one? We are going to need... What are we going to need? A pair of scissors will probably do it. Mainly because I can't be bothered to find my craft knife. Okay. So let's see what this one is like. So this is actual watercolour paper. That one wasn't. Okay. That's odd, but we will see. So we've got exactly the same thing. We've got our mixing instructions, and then you could paint on this if you wanted to. So we've got peonies, we've got a poppy bouquet, we've got sunflowers, we've got 2 pages there, a mixed bouquet, dahlias, peonies, we've got a Christmas bouquet, cheerful bouquet, lily of the valley, hydrangeas, tulips, a pink bouquet. Right, so yeah, this one is probably what it should be like, I am guessing. And this one looks like it's been printed. Which do I prefer? In a way, I think I prefer the one that's not the watercolour paper, purely because I can just use that and trace it onto watercolour paper, and then I've got it to keep forevermore. This one, it's probably, would that trace onto watercolour paper? Let us see, shall we? So we've got some watercolour paper here. Let's get some trace down. There we go. Let's... They're very difficult to get out. There we go. Trace down. And I'm just going to see if it is in fact possible. I line that up a bit better. So for those of you that haven't used trace down, the blacker bit you put up against your watercolour paper, and then I'm going to need quite a thin pen, I think, or a pencil even. Let's use a mechanical pencil. That's probably quite a small nib on it, hasn't it? So let me just see if it works. If I trace around. I won't do it all, but, you know, we'll give it a go. Maybe if we just get some of these main bits in. That feels like it needs... Oh, this bit? Yeah. There we go. I mean, I'm not actually going to use this. I'm just checking it out, really. Right, I haven't done the whole thing, but let's just see if you can trace. Oh, Don't know if you can really see that. It is very faint. So it's really difficult to trace down on it. So you're probably not going to be able to do what I suggested. You're probably going to have to paint on these. So I guess it depends which you end up with. I got these from eBay, so I will leave a link to where I got them on eBay. I think for today's purposes, I will swatch these out. So let's get another piece of watercolor paper. So that we can just see what these colours are like. I mean, I'm expecting these paints to be extremely chalky. We will be kind and give them a spray first. But I think these two sets were something like £12 or £14 each. So, and maybe great for kiddies, actually. Oh, I've gone off the screen. There we go. Right, white probably isn't going to show up, but seems to be quite creamy. Then we've got yellow. Then we've got this kind of peachy colour. It's almost like a Jaune Brilliant. We've got a lighter orange. Or a deep yellow, whichever way round you want to look at it. Then we've got an orange. These are re-wetting really nicely. We've got a red. There's me with no expectation of these, and in actual fact, I would have to say, they're really not too bad. So there we've got a kind of candy pink, and then more of rose, quinacridone rosy type colour. These have got no names. Then we've got this lilac-y colour. We've got a purple. What would I call that? This one's feeling a bit chalky. Looks almost like a cornflower blue to me. We've got a turquoise. Jade? Should we call that jade? Then we've got a bright green. We've got one that's a bit more like a viridian. What would I call that? Phthalo blue. Okay, burnt umber. Just trying to match these up. And then we have our black. So, if I bring those up, you can see they're really fairly decent for the price anyway, considering that you've got the book as well. And the little palette isn't too bad. You have got a couple of places to mix. So you could mix yourself. Let's see, let's go with yellow and purple to make our grey. I know they said to use black and brown, but let's try yellow and purple. Oops. That's kind of given us a browny colour, hasn't it? What happens if we add a bit of the blue? Not really getting a grey, am I? Oh well, let's do what they said then. No, you'd have to really water that down, I suppose. Yeah, we're still not really getting a grey, are we? I suppose add a bit of white to it. And you've got a kind of a... Oh, I've ended up with buff titanium, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, for the price, and for the sketches that you get, that you can, you know, learn from or use. And this one, obviously, I have a feeling this is how they're supposed to, all of them are supposed to be. Yeah, it says you'll find hand-drawn sketches printed on the pages so you can jump right into painting. So they should be made of watercolour paper. So this one you can definitely just take with you and paint, basically. So let's just have a little, let's have a little go then at doing maybe this bottom bit. Paint the blue stripe on the bottom of the vase. Alright, well, I'm never going to follow their colours, am I? So I'll just be making my own. But that's just me. Right, let's have a go at a couple of leaves then. I'll just be using the picture as reference, you know. Okay, we've got a nice green there. Well, I would have to say that the paper pretty nice. Watercolor paper. So I can't guarantee which one or which type of book you would get if you do decide to order. But yeah. If you're just wanting to get your paints out. And of course a lot of my channel is about sharing things that I buy that are, I mean, they're not necessarily what I would use, but it's all about just you know, staying calm, easy painting, If you want to see some of the other stuff that I do for myself, then it's mostly, well, it is on my Substack, and that's where I will use my own reference photos and do some of those things, you know, do my own paintings. But yeah, a lot of my channel is just so that we can all enjoy art, whether we are able to draw or not. It's not a prerequisite for, you know, much of what goes on my channel. If it, you know, I will even provide sketches myself. So add a bit of the orange in there. Anyway, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I will bring this up. And I think you can see how you can have a bit of fun with something. Just take your mind off things. Just allow yourself to get engrossed and stay present and in the moment. That everything else, all those worries, they can just go away for a few moments while you do a cute little painting. So yeah, I think these are actually pretty cute little sets for the price anyway. And then we've got Hiramaki. So, you know, some different ways that mean that, you know, we don't necessarily have to come up with a painting for ourselves to enjoy using watercolours. We don't have to be able to draw in order to just do a few scribbles on some blots. But we can all feel that we are being creative and mindful and being kind to ourselves. So there we go. Those are my picks to share with you today. Do go and have a look at my Substack. There are some things on there that are free. Obviously there is a section for paid subscribers, but when you subscribe, you can subscribe for free. So I just want to stress that. And please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that I can, you know, keep going. And yeah, thank you all so much for your wonderful support. Have a lovely day.